Okay, back in. So we're basically going to show how to do an extract layer where we take data sets that happen to be in one coordinate system. For us, it's NAD83 State Plane Zone 6 to another coordinate system. We're going to be going into WGS 1984, but the reality is it could be in anything. So currently what we're doing is we have access to a fire department, county fire department street data, and a topology. It happens to be in NAD83. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be extracting it out of their database. It happens to be an SDE into a file geodatabase on our side, which it also could go right into an SDE database as well. So we're going to go look at the geodatabase that we have on disk. I have it called fire right now, and so copy the path because we're going to need that. We'll come in here and get this extract button. This is actually the, let me go back, this is the toolbar known as distributed geodatabase. So you can see it there. This is where we handle all the replicas, but for this purposes we're not going to be building a replica, we're just extracting data out. We're going to use this button to do it. Extract data. Now we could do this manually, or we could do a feature class to feature class as well, and when we define all that, but this is just another avenue for doing this. And we really, if you're going to do a replica, this is your procedures to prepare for that, but at this time we don't have those rights on the database, so we can't actually build this as a replica. But we're going to be using this as a training session anyway. So, I think originally what we're going to do is we're going to need to extract out the schema from the NAD83. So this right now it's in NAD83, and we're going to actually change we're going to create a new feature data set on the file, and it's going to be something else. And for our instance, it's going to be in WGS 84 auxiliary sphere. So that's kind of the whole point of this. The first time around we have to extract just the schema. Then once we actually extract all the schema, then we actually go and grab the data and extract the data into that schema. That's kind of the logic here. And what we have to do to get the coordinate changes is we need to have it, we need to actually select this advanced setting options box, so we actually get the dialog to where we can actually say, okay, what were we in? What feature data set were we in? We were in, NAD83. What do we want to go in? We want to go to 1984. And then when we extract the data, what it does is it actually takes the data that happens to be in NAD83 and reprojects it into WGS 84 into that feature data set. In a way, it automates the whole feature class to feature class tool set. Perhaps this could be something that could be maybe even tied into the geoprocessing framework at a future release. But okay, so here we go. So we're going to schema only. We're going into a geodatabase. We're going into this one I've called Fire GDB. And we're going to show the advanced options. We're using the extract data from the distributed geodatabase. Okay, so actually here's something that's new at 10, where we can actually change the target. Prior to 10, whatever was the input, in this case, we have a feature data set, RVC Fire Streets. We have a feature class called RVC Fire Streets, and then a topology of that same name. The input would become the target, but at 10, what's cool is we can actually change this. So this is new functionality. So fire department, so we actually can control the output basically. It's going to be very handy, especially when you have multiple departments in the county that have their own GIS, which we have like 5 of those here in the county. So I don't necessarily want to call my data RVC Fire, but fire department does. Just like they wouldn't necessarily want to call their data cadastral, maybe they want to call it Assessor if they're pulling data from us. We use replication a lot. So here we go. So basically we're taking RVC feature data set, RVC Fire Streets into fire department. The layer itself, the feature class, is the same name. We're calling it Fire Streets, and then the topology is just the suffixes with the topology. And as you see, we're just grabbing the schema. Okay, so the next. Now in this dialog, this is where we actually define the spatial reference information. It was NAD83, we're going to WGS, but it could be anything. So I'll specify a new spatial reference for the extracted schema. Now I'm going to actually change it. I'm going to edit this. So when I edit it, I'm going to go out and I'm going to select it. Right now you can see that it's North American 83 with that. So we're going to go out and we're going to select something else. Now what I've done is I've copied these two because I use them both at the root, but you would probably want to go in this way and grab something in here or into geographic. You know, like so projected, I could go into world or something like that and select a different projection. But I've copied what I needed out to my root, as everybody should do. It's just a little shortcut. And then it makes everything easier, even when you're just generating just new feature data sets to begin with outside of this tool. So here I am grabbing WGS 1984 Web Mercator. I'm going to add that. I'm going to say OK. As you see that, edit. I selected it, and then I just press OK. And I see the details here because I've checked on this little checkbox. It gives me all the details. And now I'm going to say next. And at this time I'm going to say no further action. So what it's doing is it's going and it's taking it's creating a new feature data set in that fire geodatabase called Fire Department. And then it's loading the schema into it. So as we come in here to this folder, Fire Streets, we're going to refresh, grab the Fire Department. Fire GDB, and I have now a feature data set called Fire Department. And I have a layer in there, Fire Streets, and then a topology. As you see, if I go to item description from the Fire Streets layer, item description is really where we can kind of put in some metadata. We can also preview it, like we could preview in the old catalog, our catalog. Well, now we can do the preview in the catalog window of the catalog window inside of ArcMap. I can preview the geography, which there is none because I only have the schema, and we can also preview the table. And as you can see, there's nothing in here. So that's just the schema that we've transferred out. So now we're going to go through the same process, but instead of just grabbing the schema only, now we're actually going to reuse the schema that we actually copied, and we're going to go into the geodatabase. So we're actually going to go into the geodatabase. We're going to reuse the schema that's there. So I'm going to select that Fire GDB. Okay, so now I have the Fire geodatabase. I'm going to reuse the schema, and now I'm going to actually extract the data. Before we extracted just the schema, now I'm going to extract the data into this geodatabase. I just put this on for good measure because it seems to work every time. Okay, so I go next. It's going to show me the output. I still see RVC Fire Streets becomes Fire Department. RVC Fire Streets becomes Fire Streets. And same with the topology. And now I'm actually checking out all features. I'm going to do the full extent of the data. Okay, and then we're going to say next. So I'm grabbing the full extent of all the data that's in there for the streets. Say next. We're going to do no further action. Finish it. So what it's doing is it's now it's extracting the data that's happened. There's about 70,000 or so features or something like that. It's extracting from the Fire Department's SDE SQL Server database in the city of Paris to downtown Riverside CAC Assessor. We're going into a file geodatabase. So I'm going to stop it for a couple seconds here because it just takes up video. Okay, we're back. That took about 2 minutes or so, maybe a minute and a half. So now what we've done is we've copied all the data out, and now when we go to the catalog, do a refresh on the Fire folder, get the Fire geodatabase, Fire Department, feature data set, Fire Streets. I mean, so this is one of the coolest thing about 10 with geodatabases also is that the idea that you can actually take so what would have happened is I would have actually seen RVC Fire and RVC Fire and then RVC Fire topology. And now actually I can actually control the name of my feature data set, the name of my feature class, and even the topology. That's a really cool function that probably isn't used or really written about. There's one blog post on it. Really cool functionality. So let me go back in and look at the Fire Streets item description. Make sure the data is still there, or the data actually copied over. As you see, here's the geometry or the geography. I can actually open up the table. We got all the table information. And so, there's stuff in there. It's just so that's it. And then go back, close that out, and that's basically it. It's a how to extract data out in preparation for building a replica where you have one coordinate system, in our case it was NAD 83 State Plane Zone 6, to where we want to copy it into another coordinate system. Another thing we could do this with also is if we could take our data and we could turn it into the ARC globe three-dimensional coordinate system as well. So we actually have another instance of this where there's a potential use. Instead of just going to WGS 84, we can also go to the cubed coordinate system for ARC globe. But yeah, so this is that's it.